But I know that you're in my live stream a little bit earlier.
Hmm.
Guess what, Rudy?
What?
I've not seen Flash Gordon.
Ah! Oh God. Okay, I meant it. I'm good. Sorry about that.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. This week, as you can tell by the title of the video and the thumbnail, I have none other than Mr. Rudy from Rudy's Movie Reviews, San Antonio's unofficial critic. And this guy, he has a lot of energy. He has a personality, definitely. You can feel that from his reviews, from his videos, and you can definitely feel that from this interview as well. Me and Rudy talked about it all, guys. We obviously how he started on YouTube, his love of movies and all that stuff. And this episode, guys, these first episodes with these first people, like Jared, Zach, Ram, and all this stuff. We're going to talk about how they first got started, and then the next episodes when they come back eventually and hopefully, we're going to get into a little bit more other stuff and stuff like that. So, because we are eventually going to circle around. But anyways, so me and Rudy, we sat down, we had a great conversation, we had a fun time. We talked, like I said, how he got started and all this stuff, how it's like living over there in Texas and all that stuff, and just about him. I learned a lot about him, and that's, I think, what this series is going to be all about, and I really like this episode for that. We also talked about dating towards the end, so stay tuned for that as well. We get into not a debate, but just a fun little conversation about that. And yeah, sorry this episode's a little bit late. I know, I try to do this weekly, but I had a lot of stuff going on right now. I know there's questions of why I look like I just came from a funeral and stuff like that, but enough with that. I know that's not what you guys came here for. Let's get to the interview with me and Rudy. All right, guys, so I'm back again on Real Talk, my new show, like you guys said in the little intro video as well. And like my thumbnail and title says, I'm here with a very special guest. I'm so excited to have him on this show specific, because I've been a follower of this guy for a long time. He has such amazing content, and we've already did a few collabs. He's been on my Road to Infinity War, and I did a collab on his channel before. But yeah, that man is none other than Rudy from Rudy's Movie Reviews. What's up, man? How's it going?
John, brother, man, thank you for having me here, dude. I really appreciate this. It's such an honor, sir.
No worry. The honor's all mine, honestly, man. The honor's all mine. But
this is fun. Yeah, I love
man,
this.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna get into who Rudy is, behind the man behind the camera.
Let's do it, man. Ask any questions you want, man. I'm here to tell you whatever you want, man. It's good to go.
Yeah. So Rudy, where are you from?
I am from San Antonio, Texas, born and raised. I did live periodically for a year in Albuquerque, New Mexico with my sister, but mainly San Antonio, Texas, sir.
Yeah, awesome. And like you said, you've been there all your life. So how is it like over there movie-wise? Because I just talked to Jared, and he said not a lot of screenings go on there. So like, is San Antonio like a movie city and stuff like that, or?
It's starting to. There are a lot of young folks, and when I mean young folks, I mean folks in their mid to early 20s that are becoming filmmakers. So that community is slowly growing, but there isn't a lot of screenings. So whenever I signed up to all the websites like Sony, Warner Brothers, all these things, and I get maybe an invite, maybe like once every couple of months. I just got one for Alpha. Like today, I'm like, oh great, oh the event's packed. Like damn it.
Oh man.
I get one every couple of months, and I'm trying to network and get more opportunities, but it's very few and far between for me.
Yeah. So you said like it's slowly getting there, but I know that San Antonio, you did a few videos and reviews about how it has a rich history of being involved in movies, right? Like Selena, right?
Yes, I did a Selena review. It's growing right now on YouTube, but yeah, there was a lot of locations back in '96 when it was filmed. About a year after Selena's death, and I actually went there because I'm literally on the southeast side of San Antonio, and these locations are like 10 blocks away. So I thought, why not just go on location and shoot there? And it really worked out well. They came out really great, and again, it's one of my more popular videos.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a great job, and I love those styles of reviews that you do. It does talk about the film, but it's different, and I like how insightful it is. And overall, that's what you are. And so, how did this whole love of movies start, man? Did you just grow, start watching movies very young, or like was it, an event or something?
Well, that's a great question, John. It really goes back to my parents, my mom and dad. Funny story. Back in '76, my mom thought she was pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And back then, you couldn't go to the drugstore and buy, those packages. You had to go to the doctor and get a blood test.
Wow.
So my mom and dad went to the doctor, got a blood test, and the doctor tells them, "Well, we'll know in a couple of hours. So just go do whatever and come back." And my mom and dad are like, "Well, there's that new Blazing Saddles movie. You want to go see that?"
Oh man. Yeah.
And they go, "Yeah." So they went and saw Blazing Saddles, and then they came back and they found out they were pregnant with me. And they told me that story when I was like maybe 5 or no, I was like maybe 10 to understand.
Yeah.
And my dad always took me to the movies. Like one of my first, I have glimpses of Empire. I remember Hoth.
Wow.
But the movie I remember clearly from beginning to end was Flash Gordon, and that my dad took me. And I guess my parents, we always connected with that. They have a great sense of humor, and it was their passion for film that kind of got me involved in it. And that's where my love came from, man. My parents.
Definitely, Flash Gordon. You can feel that in your reviews and your intro and stuff like that. Your headline right here, Rudy's movie reviews. But I know that you're in my live stream a little bit earlier. Guess what, Rudy?
What?
I've not seen Flash Gordon.
Oh God! Okay, I meant it. I'm good. Sorry about that.
I'm so sorry.
John.
I have a lot of homework to do.
John. You're killing me, man. Come on.
No, but Flash Gordon, I feel, is like one of those cult hits. Like a lot of people really appreciate it. Like because I feel like when it came out, a lot of people were like, okay, was this before or after Star Wars?
It was after, and it was actually one of the second comic book movies I think made to a big feature film because Superman came out, and they were trying to capture that market, but it didn't do too well that year. But I think it's found that cult status. Yeah, and I think a lot of that had to do with Ted a few years ago. You remember Ted? I had no interest in seeing that movie, and some friends of mine go, "You have to go see it. You're gonna love this one part." I'm like, "Oh, fine." I was the one guy laughing the loudest when I saw Sam Jones. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Sam Jones." Oh, but that was a funny experience. But I think that film kind of brought it back to, I guess, the mainstream.
And then he came back too for the second one, right?
There was not a second one. They were planning on it because part one ended on a cliffhanger, but it never got into production.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was talking about Ted 2. He came back for Ted 2.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and that was like one of the funniest parts of Ted 2 because I really like Ted, and Ted 2 was all right, but when he comes out, Sam Jones, it was definitely hilarious.
Yeah, I actually got to meet him too. I got a picture with him and an autograph, so it was pretty cool. That happened about a couple years ago.
That's awesome, man. You met your hero, right?
Yeah, I did, man. It was awesome at the Comic-Con. Like I've said before in my videos, I'm with the Alamo City Comic-Con, and it's funny. It's because my channel, when I got started early on, someone from that Comic-Con saw me. Yeah. And then they reached out to me, "Hey, would you like to do reviews for us?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." So that's how that all started and how I got to meet Sam Jones. So yeah, YouTube has brought me a lot of great opportunities.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, even, I'm barely starting out too, but I very, courtesy to Rama as well. I was able to experience a lot of screenings with a lot of people that I look up to in the industry, in the business.
I'm jealous, man. Rama's awesome.
Yeah, Rama, he's great. He's one of my favorites. One of the top guys doing it out there today too. But there's so many questions, so many ways I can go with you. But I kind of want to go back. So how your love of movies started like that? So how were you when you were young in school? Like, did you get in fights or something? Were you an odd one out or something?
I was always the clown. It's funny because in my elementary and middle school years, I was a clown. But when I got to high school, I got really quiet. But I always loved movies, and I would always reference movies. I guess the way Family Guy has kind of made that popular, like that one scene, Yeah. So I would always talk to people like that, and people would sometimes get it, sometimes they wouldn't. But I was always creative. Like I grew up from a very poor family. I mean, we were pretty poor. I'm talking food stamps, government cheese. That's just where we came from. And I didn't have a lot of toys, but my mom and dad did buy me toys when they had the money. But I would draw a lot, so I would look at comic books. And to kind of spend time and do something throughout the day, I would draw the entire panel.
Oh,
And I
wow.
would challenge myself. I go, you know, I'm gonna draw it in pen so I can't mess up. So I would draw all the time, and I would like lay out sequences. And I guess that's where my creativity, my imagination came from, because we didn't really have much. But I loved reading comics, I loved reading books, and I loved
Yeah.
drawing. So I was always a creative type of guy.
And did you ever want to be a filmmaker?
Uh, I did, but I had no means to go about doing it. I mean, asking my parents for $5 to go to the mall, like, dude, I'll spend the whole way. Get out of here. We don't
Yeah.
got $5.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I'm sorry. You know, so I really didn't have the means, but I would pretend to be like a movie maker. I would actually draw storyboards in school, and like how I would have Superman fight Zod.
Yeah.
I just did a lot of things, but it really wasn't until now, my present life, the past 3 years, that I've been able to film skits on my channel. I think you've seen a few of them,
Yeah.
and I have fun. I have fun doing it, man. So yeah, to answer your question, I've always wanted to, but I didn't have the means until now.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
And one of the questions I want to ask you is like this whole YouTube. I feel like you've said it in one of your Q&As before, but how did all that come about? Like you like finally want to do something with your love of films and stuff like that, or how did that start your YouTube channel?
Well, that's another great question, John, because it all starts with the divorce. I was
Oh
married a long
man.
time. No, it's a great thing. Trust me, I'm a very happy man now.
Yeah.
Things are great, man.
Yeah.
But it was the right thing to do. But it all started with the divorce back in 2015. Me and the ex-wife were just not going through a good time. We're best friends now, believe it or not. She's
Yeah.
dating somebody. I've got a girlfriend. We're both great friends, but
Yeah.
at that time, it was pretty bad, and she was saying that I wasn't going to see the kids for more than a week and a month. And I love my kids. I'm pretty sure you see my videos. I'm always
Yeah.
talking about them. They're in them. So it killed me. I'm like, man, what am I going to do with myself if I don't have my kids with me? And a friend of mine at work says, well, you love movies. Why don't you just go to the movies more often? I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And I'm driving home one day, and I'm like, well, I can go see them, but I have no one to talk to them about, because the ex-wife took all the friends in the divorce too, believe it or
Yeah.
not. So I had no friends. I was starting from zero, baseline, dude, nothing. And like, I got no one to talk to about movies. I'm like, well, maybe I can do a channel. I'm like, that's what I'll do. I'll start a
Yeah.
channel. I have no idea how to edit, about lighting, audio. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I figured it out. So I bought a computer. This is in 2016. And I watched 1 hour tutorials every night for 3 months to learn how to do After Effects,
Oh, wow.
Premiere Pro. I taught myself.
That's dedication
And
right there, man.
yeah, because I needed something to keep me positive because of divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce is a horrible thing, dude. But I needed something to stay positive. And so in essence, I was turning that negative into a positive experience. And I made myself learn, and it ended up being the best decision I ever made, because YouTube started. I was out there just talking, having fun. And then somebody at work noticed one of my videos and said, hey, can you do that here? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do that here. Why not? I'd love to do that here. So it got me a better job at work. And it just got me the Comic-Con relationship. So that decision in my darkest hour, like any bad movie, you know, when the hero is at their lowest point,
Yeah.
I made the decision, and it's turned out to be the best thing in the world, dude. Like, I'm here talking to you, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, yeah,
Yeah.
it does seem like you took that bad situation and made it good, you know, and I give you props for that, man, because I know divorce, you know, my parents went through it, and a lot of other people that I know, it's tough, you know, and to come out of it a better man, it's awesome to hear, dude.
Thank
And
you. That
thank you
means a
for
lot.
sharing that for with me as well. And I know YouTube for me, like I just started it. That's Spock.
Yeah, it's Spock. I'm sorry about that. Spock.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, sorry about
I'm
that.
just lucky I have a cat, so she doesn't really. She's sleeping right now. That's all she does.
Yeah. I
But,
miss cats.
yeah. But yeah, YouTube for me too. I've always been passionate about films, and I think when I saw, and I have like different YouTube channels, but I mean they weren't really like this. They weren't like I wasn't really trying. It was just literally just me videos of my friends and stuff like after school and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, but I was always in love with movies, and I always had a voice. You know, I always wanted to talk to him and to somebody about them. And then when I saw La La Land, and I think that movie kind of pushed me to, you know what, do something with your passion, you know. So yeah, I started in 2017, and it's brought me so many opportunities too. And I, like you said, I met you, I've met Zach Pope and Griffin and Rama, and just a lot of other people, a lot of cool people. Because, You know, we all have friends and stuff, but maybe they're not really as passionate for film as we are. So it's cool to
Right.
have people to talk to you about that. And you meet a lot of creative people too, a lot of just smart people, and it's cool, man. I like doing what we're doing, you know. And
Yeah.
and if it could be a career, then that's even more better.
No, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm slowly networking, trying to get a lot of things done here locally. As I mentioned previous times in my videos, that I'm San Antonio's unofficial movie critic.
Yeah.
I'm really working hard to make it official, dude. I'm actually emailing the mayor, and I'm sending my information out to everywhere that anybody can listen, local news stations, just trying to get noticed. So who knows? Something could happen. I don't know, but you're right, man. Before I went onto YouTube, I really wasn't fearful of the comments, because you know how people can be trolls and say really hateful, ugly things. You know, it takes a lot of bravery for somebody. I don't care how old you are, male, female. It takes a lot of bravery to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And we all knew of like these destructive comments that people would make. But I was really genuinely surprised how I met you guys. There's like a community of people out there who want to help and get your name out there, people who support each other. So that was really one of the biggest shocks to me when I went onto YouTube, was just the brotherhood and that bond between all these other YouTubers that we're all at the same level. We're all trying to help each other out. Yeah. And that was a pleasant surprise, man.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think I've said it countless times. I think that's my favorite part of YouTube, that community that we're a part of. And yeah, I definitely thought it was daunting, because it's like we're thrown into an ocean of, you know, people trying to do the same thing, you know, and you have that sense of, oh man, it could be competitive. How could I stand out? But yeah, this community is great, man. I love being part of this community. Like you said, we're all just trying to help each other. We're trying to become friends and stuff like that. Which leads to my next question. When are you gonna come to LA, man? We gotta hang out, have a beer or something.
I need to, man. Maybe next year. Like I said, I'm a single dad, so money is. I work 4 jobs, man. Believe it or not, I work USAA. I drive for Uber on the side. Yeah. I design logos on the side. I do commercials on the side. I mean, I do a lot of things. I'm always hustling, dude. So it's just really fun. And you know, next year things will be better. So yeah, man, I'd love to do that and go visit you guys, have a beer. I know my girlfriend would like to go, so we can do that. But I was in LA, like I said, back in 2015. I took the kids to Legoland. Yeah. And went to Hollywood Boulevard. It was really nice, man. You know what shocked me about LA? Well, actually, let me tell you this. Yeah. I've never driven from Texas to California before. And have you been in California your entire life?
Yeah. Born and raised. So here.
This is what shocked me. As soon as I entered California, there were deserts. And after the deserts, there were mountains. And after the mountains, there was a forest. And after the forest, there was an ocean. You have everything right there, dude. The weather's beautiful, dude. I remember it was June and we're in Legoland and people were wearing hoodies in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. I mean, hoodies, we put them away in Texas like in March. I mean, people were wearing hoodies in June and it was cold. The weather was awesome, dude. The people were great. Everyone was beautiful. We saw Justin Bieber. I'm like, oh, there he is. My daughter went crazy. But it was beautiful out there, man. And you have, like I said, everything within a 2-hour drive.
Yeah. We have we have the beach, the mountains, forest, and then even up north we have like Yellowstone Park and stuff like that. And it's great, man. It's just, I feel now it's just being like, man, like everybody wants to come here, man. Like I feel like we can put a sign of like, you know, California's full, no more, you know, no more apartments or whatever, you know, because the traffic, man, that's one thing that I hate. Oh man, traffic, man.
I can imagine, dude.
And then I'm pretty sure like right now it's summertime and it's when it gets like 105 or something, we're like dying, but I'm pretty sure Texas is a lot worse.
Oh, the traffic's not so bad. I mean, it's getting pretty bad because back when you remember the housing crisis back in 2008, we had over 500,000 people from California move to San Antonio. So we had a huge population boom here, dude. So traffic got like bad overnight. Like, what the hell? But yeah, dude, I mean, I loved it out there. It was awesome. And we need to make an effort. I need to make an effort to go out there and see you guys, have a beer, or go watch a movie, at least spend the weekend out there. It's long overdue.
Yeah, definitely, man. That would be cool. Besides that time in 2015, have you been to California? Or was that your first time? Or
that was my first time, man. So that's why we took our time. And I even drove up to Joshua Tree because I'm a big YouTube fan. So I had to
Yeah.
get pictures of the Joshua trees and all that. So everything was beautiful, man. Just I need to go again.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I want to ask you too, are you an only child? Do you have siblings or anything like that? Or
I have a sister. She's 10 years older than me, and she's beautiful. A lot of people say she looks like Sandra Bullock or Gal Gadot. My
yeah.
daughter says she looks like Gal Gadot. I'm like, no, she doesn't. Don't tell your aunt that or Thea that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love my sister. It's just us two, and it's just we have a small family. It's like I said, it's me, her, and my mom and dad, and of course she's had kids, and her kids have had kids. So we're slowly growing. But yeah, just me and my sister.
That's cool, man. And yeah, just like me, I just me and my older brother. We're 3 years apart. But yeah, he has a kid, my nephew. And
Cool.
that's what I wanted to talk to you about too. Like having kids.
Hmm.
Like I always thought about, man, if I ever have kids, I want to show them everything, like all the movies that I love and stuff. Obviously at the appropriate age. But
Right.
are you like that with your kids? Like, do you like get geeked out? Like, okay, I can't wait for you guys to see for this movie or something like that.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Little known fact: my son's middle name is Kal-El. It's super
Really?
messy.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that's awesome.
yeah. I
That's
didn't want to
awesome.
make it his first name because I knew he'd get beat up or picked on, so that's his middle name. But my daughter, my son, they can quote movies. My son can quote Ghostbusters just like I can. And
Yeah.
it's not like I forced them into it. It's just they saw how much love I had for it, and they kind of just followed suit. So, and it's also a perfect time, I guess, in history and the way things lined up because as a kid, I read comic books and I never, ever thought in a million years I would see Thanos on the movie
Oh
screen.
man. Yeah.
So I would, and then watching that on the screen with my kids next to me, it's the most wonderful thing I could experience you because stuff that I read as a kid, I'm now experiencing with my children.
Yeah.
And I tell them a little bit of backstory before we go see it, and they go, "Wow!" So, yeah, it's funny. My daughter loves '80s movies. She loves the Blues Brothers. I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
funny. I just all my love is just kind of poured out in them, and they love the movies just as much as I do. It's pretty badass, dude. That you see a kid quotes a movie, and it's like, "Hey, I taught you that. That's pretty badass." So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful feeling.
I bet. And that's honestly, I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but I mean, I was with this girl for like almost 7 years and we're no longer together, but we never really wanted to have kids. But now that
Hmm.
we're not, I'm like, you know what? I started thinking about it. I want them to experience what I experienced, especially like something like with the MCU. Like when I was
Yeah,
younger, we didn't, I mean, obviously there wasn't anything like that. So like now when there's a lot of like 20 plus movies you can watch, like it's like a journey, cinematic journey.
yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, I'll probably want kids just for that. So they can see my love of movies and I can
Uh-huh.
experience that with them. Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I cannot deny that, man. It's being a parent is probably no one's ever ready for it. I mean, thinking back when I
Yeah.
first heard we're pregnant, I was like, I was on my way to a bachelor party when I first found out,
Oh man.
and I was like, do I still go to the party or do I go home? What do I do? And I actually went home. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. 'Cause I want to get
But
hammered tonight.
I know I had cigars and everything. Now I got to go home. But your life changes. But you'd be surprised. A lot of people say they're not ready for it, but when it happens, there's like this instinctive switch in you that, hey, I'm responsible for a life now,
Yeah.
and you change. It's just like Stallone says, over the top, it's like a switch. Get the hat switch,
Yeah.
and it's you just change, man. And it's like I said, it's a wonderful feeling, and I love my kids, and it's the greatest feeling in the world. Hey, you're not too old. How old are you? Like 25, 26?
Yeah. I'm going to be 26 this year.
Oh, you're young, dude. You got plenty of time to have kids, man. So just go out and have 4 of them.
I have a plethora. Like my grandparents, my dad's side, I think they had like 10, and on my mom's side, I think it's 12.
Whoa.
So I have a lot
Damn.
of uncles and aunts and stuff, but it's weird to see how like in America it's different.
Oh, it's totally different now. Yeah, it's tough to actually afford one, dude. I mean, they're so expensive, and not just them, but like I have a friend at work who just had a son, and she's back at work, and they're paying $600 a month in daycare expenses.
Oh man,
It's
that's tough.
ridiculous, man. So it's like
Yeah,
sometimes people are out there working just to take care of the baby or have money for the daycare expenses. So it's ridiculously expensive now.
yeah, definitely. I feel that. And kind of switching gears here, you talked about it a little bit. So besides movies, do you have any other hobbies, any other passions, interests, and stuff like that?
That's a good question, dude. don't.
It's just movies 24/7.
It's just movies and being a dad and working. It's really tough, and that's why you see I don't punch out a lot of videos like our other friends. Like I see everybody, like our friends like Zach, Tyler, everyone, and attending screenings, and I would love to do that, but I'm always working. I'm always doing something, keeping busy, or drafting up ideas for the channel, who I'm going to do a collaboration with. But hobbies, when I do have time, I love going to the gym. I love running. Running's a good stress reliever for me. I love lifting weights. I love bike riding, like walking. And I just like just being outside. I love when the weather's fine. It's not like 200 degrees outside, like here in San Antonio. I like just being outside and just hanging out. You know, just doing things that are away from the phone and away from the TV.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like nowadays everything revolves around like your phone or something, you know, like social media and stuff. And it's nice. Like even I just had that experience with a book that I've been reading. A lot of people's like, why? How come you didn't just buy it off your phone? I was like, I'm trying to get away from my phone. You know, I want the book. You know, I want to read it. I want to flip the page. I'm kind of old fashioned like that, if you will. I don't know, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, definitely. But I was gonna ask you too. What are some of your favorite films, man? Like your top, if you have a top 5, because I mean, for me, it's tough to have a top 10, but I always go back to those films. So I want to put you in the spot. Like, what is like top 5, man?
All right, in no particular order, right? Just 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one, Pulp Fiction, just like when you had on your webcast not too long ago. Pulp Fiction. I'll never forget. I was a senior in high school, leaving the theater. Going into the theater, not knowing what to expect, and leaving the theater like just changed. Like, my God, I don't know what the hell I just saw.
Yeah,
that was amazing, because it was at the time I had this like skill where I can walk into a film and know exactly how it was going to end.
Yeah. And
midway through Pulp Fiction, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Travolta's dead. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what's going to happen now? So that was a unique experience and one of my top experiences. The other one would probably be Flash Gordon, like I mentioned with my dad, seeing that as a kid and just remember the colors and the Queen soundtrack, which is amazing, by the way. That was a wonderful experience. And just really just kind of put the idea in my head of how to be creative. I remember thinking, how do they make those guys fly and things like that?
Yeah.
Superman, the original with Richard Donner and Christopher Reeve, my hero. That was a wonderful experience. And that movie probably has impacted me the most as far as my moral compass. Growing up, like I said, in a poor neighborhood, there were a lot of my cousins and friends who would do stupid shit. And they would like, hey, you want to do it? And I remember I would always stop, because I remember in my head, I would think, would Superman want me to do that? Would Superman do that? No, guys, I'm not. I'm going to go home. And no, Rudy, you suck. Your mom was blah, 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 blah. But it was because of the Superman's rules and how he would act. It's really just kind of put character in me. So there's 3, right? We got Pulp Fiction, Flash Gordon, Superman. Cool Hand Luke with Paul Newman's one of my favorites. It's a classic. Man, that's such a great film. And I guess the last one I would have to say, oh man, that's damn it, John.
I'm sorry,
I have to say Blazing Saddles, and I love that film. It's hilarious, and you probably heard me on my channel that I've been debating whether to review or not, but I'm scared to death with today. People are so sensitive about words. Yeah. It blows me away, because I grew up, and I'm sure you did, this was repeated to me in school by my parents: sticks and stones may break my bones, the words will never hurt me. So that is just what I grew up with, that mentality. Words don't hurt. I mean, people leave ugly comments on YouTube to me, and I'm like, hey, well, thanks for the feedback. It doesn't bother me. So it blows me away nowadays that a word or a tweet can get your career ruined. You can get fired, and you can get banished from the world. It blows me away. And I freak out about that. I mean, there's a James Gunn thing. I mean, it just blows me away how the world is nowadays. It's ultra sensitive, and that's why I've been hesitant to review Blazing Saddles. So I'm not going to bleep out anything. I'm going to leave it as the Mo Brooks minute.
A sense of humor anymore.
Yeah, people take things so seriously now. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a thing too that I've been frustrated with, and also because of the whole James Gunn situation. Like, I keep thinking about, like, when did this happen? You know, like, just we've all been super sensitive, and Twitter's just been like, that's why I've never been a big fan of Twitter. I just use it for like real talk stuff, you know. And
Same here.
kind
Yeah.
of just stay away from it, you know. But it's weird, man. It's just a weird time that we live in, you know.
And it worries me because I have, like I said, I have kids, and I wonder what the environment's going to be when my kids are our age.
Yeah.
Is it going to be super, super sensitive to where it's going to be like in freaking Demolition Man, where if you say something, you can get fined?
Yeah.
I mean, how bad is it going to be, dude? I mean, how much worse can it get? Or maybe we're at the worst and it only get better. I don't know. But I hope things change, and I hope people understand that life is, hey, it's short, man. Enjoy it. Don't let a freaking word upset you. I mean,
exactly.
there are more important things, man.
And you know what, Rudy? I don't know how you forgot about Rocky, man. You didn't include it in your top. I'm just looking at your background now. You have Rocky, you have 300, and stuff like that.
Rocky Balboa is probably my favorite out of the Rocky films. Then Creed is up there too. But yeah, I love that phrase that Rocky says, you know, life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. And that I play that clip to myself whenever I need a kick in the ass.
Yep, a motivation. Yeah, I love that. I have a track. I think I downloaded from YouTube. It was a video. It's no longer up there. It's literally just a bunch of Muhammad Ali is speaking to a bunch of like motivational stuff, and then his line, I think it was from Rocky Balboa, like comes in and like gets me all the time. And I think you mentioned it to me a few times too, man. When I was having a rough time. So I
sent you that tweet. Yeah, and I even think I sent you the clip too.
Yeah, you sent me that too. So thanks for that, man. I really needed it back then.
No problem.
But yeah, dude. So we talked about some of your favorite films. What about this year? Do you have any that stand out to you? That okay, man, like these were incredible. Obviously, Infinity War, at least for me, has to be up there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I guess I'll go in order. Number one for me this year is probably no, not probably. I know for a fact was Hereditary. That was amazing. Yeah. That film. I walked out like I got to go to church tomorrow.
I want to feel clean again, man.
I know. I feel like dirty, man. Like something happened. So I loved it. I'm like totally didn't expect it, and I love films that are original. As much as you and I love comic book movies, I do feel sometimes it's oversaturated. That you know there needs to be some originality here and there. And Hereditary just totally I loved. It blew me away. Two, I'd have to say A Quiet Place. I loved it. It wasn't scary, but suspenseful as hell.
And that theater experience was wonderful too, because I remember I got a screening for it, but still, like, I was like, damn, like, I don't want to move my foot because it's gonna make a noise, you know? Like everybody was quiet, and I really loved that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was eating popcorn, and I usually eat like a handful at a time, and I like, fuck. You just had to be super quiet, and that bag makes all this noise, and I really like how the theater, everybody was on the same page. You didn't have that one jerk like on his phone or making comments. So to your point, that was a great experience. Quiet Place, and what's the other one? Of course, Infinity Wars. I saw it 4 times. That was, oh my God, mind blowing. I also have to say Incredibles 2 and then Mission Impossible Fallout. That movie was amazing. I loved it.
I have not seen that yet because I haven't seen the last 2, Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation. So I feel like, does it have like a through line, like a connective anything? Like, do you think I need to see those first?
I think you should see the one previous, whatever the last one was before Fallout, because the characters, the villains from that film do come to play in this one. So I would recommend seeing at least that one. But the stunt sequences and Tom Cruise, for the fact that he's doing what he's doing at 57, 56, is mind-blowing, man. Like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah, man. He's gearing up literally to do Top Gun 2, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know. I think they should have left it alone because I don't know if did you know if Val Kilmer, is he going to be in it? I don't know if he is or not.
As far as I know, they just, the last thing I heard from that movie was that they cast Miles Teller to play
as the Maverick's boy, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Maverick Jr. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know where they can go from there story-wise. I wanted Val Kilmer in it, but last year at the con, I actually got to see Val Kilmer. He looked ill. I mean, he looked skinny. He was unrecognizable. I'm like, oh, is that Val Kilmer? I couldn't believe what I saw. So I didn't know how they were going to use him in the sequel. I don't know how the story's going to go, but I honestly feel they should have just left it alone. It's one of those films that's timeless, and it's part of American culture. Everyone can quote it, right? You know, talk to me, Goose, you know, all these other things. And they should have just left it alone.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it a while ago, but I still remember a lot from it. And yeah, it would have been cool to see Val Kilmer again.
Hmm.
And so, what are going from that? What are your some of your most anticipated films of this year that have come to like for me? I'm looking forward to First Man from Damien Chazelle. Like I said, La
Yes.
La Land blew my mind, so I'm hoping he does that again with this film.
Hmm. I'm looking for that one too. I have a man crush on Ryan Gosling. The dude,
Yeah.
he's amazing, dude. He's amazing. I love his movies. I saw Drive the other day, and then on Netflix, I saw last night. Only God Can't Forgive.
Only God Forgives.
Yeah, Only God Forgives. And I don't know if I'm smart enough to understand it, but I didn't like it. I was like, what did I just see? Maybe I need to see it again. It reminded me of Neon Demon. And I
Yeah.
just, the color scheme, the lighting, and just the frames, everything just center framed and just still shots. I was like, did I miss something? I'm like, he didn't say what 5 words the entire film, and then he got his ass kicked. And I think he died at the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes. Only God
And then the,
Forgives.
the main villain, the devil, he sings karaoke. I was like,
It was a
did
very,
I
it was a
miss
very, it was
something?
a very. I think it was from the same director, Nicholas Winding Refn. I think.
Yeah, and I guess I go. I have to see that again, maybe to appreciate it, because I did not. I didn't follow it. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see?
Did you enjoy Drive though? Was that your first time seeing it,
Yeah,
or?
I have it on Blu-ray right behind me. I have my Blu-rays right here behind you, dude. But yeah, Drive. I love Drive, and it's on my soundtrack too. That's one of my chill out work mixes. It's a great
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah,
Hmm.
great soundtrack, man. So is there anything else that stands out for you for the rest of the year? Venom.
No. I did a reaction video. And
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
I was
starting to
gonna
do
say
them.
based on your reaction.
Yeah, I was like, it's all right. I guess I was really disappointed not seeing the white spider on him.
Yeah.
That just kind of took me out of the element because if I had, it's like seeing Superman without the S or Batman without the bat. It's like, it's missing. And then we find out that the Spider-Man, that Tom Holland's not going to be in it. They're not going to mix universes. So it's just, what is he? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a symbiote. And I don't know, dude. I just think they should have really waited to have Spider-Man involved. That would have just made it a whole lot better.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Because like,
Uh,
yeah, because he got that suit off of Spider-Man. That's why he has because the symbiote like learns and grows. So off their
yeah.
previous host, so that's why he has the spider and he has the webs and everything like that, like we've known in the comics and the cartoons and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I thought the last trailer was better than the first.
Hmm.
I'm kind of just still at least be good, you know. At
Yeah.
least don't suck too bad.
Yeah, and I'm not one to judge a movie by its trailer. We both have seen great trailers, and the movie ends up sucking.
Yeah.
So I just go and just we'll see what happens. And Tom Hardy's amazing. You know, every movie he's covering his face. You know, he's covering his face again. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Real quick though, because
Hmm.
you know I love this movie. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Watchmen, man. Like, what was
Hell yeah.
your experience with Watchmen? Did you read the graphic novel when it first came out, or?
No, I didn't read the graphic novel. I know it came out in the late '80s. I read The Dark Knight Returns, so that was really just that took over my world back when that came out.
Yeah.
But I knew of it. I knew of through Wizards in the '90s because we didn't have the internet. We had Wizards magazines. I knew that they always wanted to make it a film, but it was always like Dune, quote unquote, unfilmable
Yeah.
because there was just so much information. So when I found out it was going to be made, I was like, cool. And then I found out Zack Snyder was going to make it. I'm like, hey, I love 300 and I love Dawn of the Dead. And he was amazing, I think, at the peak or the apex of his career.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I went in seeing it. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty dark. Like, I loved it, man. And then freaking the comedian's amazing, dude. I loved it. Everyone's performance in it was pretty badass. So I loved it.
Yeah, and I feel like you get that a lot. You're a Jeffrey Dean Morgan stunt double or something.
Yeah, it's
like,
funny
man.
because I didn't know who he was, and it's funny because someone saw the Watchmen, and then someone says, hey, "You look like the comedian." I'm like, "I do," and they're like, "Well, let me go check it out." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I do," and I kept getting that a lot, and it's just one of those things. I'm not complaining. You know, I was actually the comedian one Halloween, and I actually pulled it off pretty well. And then Negan came out, and you should be Negan. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And yeah, it's one of those things, man. I'm like I said, I'm not going to complain about it. I'll just roll with it and milk it for as long as I can.
Yeah, as long as I can. I know. I've seen some photos of you. I think you've had as like your backgrounds and stuff like that of you as Negan,
Yep.
and they look pretty badass.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's funny that suit. I mean, I have a girlfriend now, but that suit, man, women loved it. It's like I didn't even have to try. I'm like, okay, you want a picture? Sure, why not? It's like, yeah, man, the women love Negan.
Yeah, definitely, man. Or
Sorry,
maybe
honey.
Jennifer Jeffrey D. Morgan is a handsome fellow or something, you know?
Yeah, he is, and the girlfriend actually wants me to be Negan again this year. She's going to be Rosella, who's the Walking Girl character with the cutoff shirt.
I think
Rosita.
it's her. Yeah, Rosita or something
Yeah,
like that.
she's gonna be Rosita. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Run with it. Be fun.
Cool, man. A nice little Halloween thing you guys got going on.
Yeah, a couple things.
Yeah, man. But you know what? I think that was pretty much it, man. I had a fun with you, man. I learned a lot about you, where you started and stuff like that. But hopefully we can do this again because I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about dating if you want next time, or if you want. Dating was fun. Can I talk about dating?
Yeah, man. Go for it. You talk about anything you want.
Because I always, again, I was married like 16 years, but if you include dating, I was with the ex-wife for 20.
Oh, wow.
So
And I'm over here complaining and having a hard time over 7 years.
But it's funny. I always tell people I feel like Captain America, who was frozen for 80 years, and it comes out and is in the real world, or things are different.
It's a whole different landscape.
Yes, man. I went out dating. I'm like, it cannot be this bad. I mean, I remember just things were just totally different. I remember offering a girl like, hey, I got on Tinder, right? I got on Tinder and match. Though that's crazy. One, I hate dating apps because I hate the first impression that a person gets from you is a text. I hate that, man.
Yeah,
I hated that. Bizarre. Yeah, so whenever I go out, I actually would approach women in bars, and they would freak out, like, hey, guys don't do that. I'm like, they don't? Like, why don't they? I always preferred that method. And again, going through the divorce and everything, I was never scared of rejection. I'm like, I've been through hell. You telling me no isn't going to do shit.
Yeah,
So I just found that weird. People don't talk anymore. People prefer texting versus a conversation.
Yeah.
Going on a date and the girl gets her phone and does this. I was like, that is so damn rude.
Yeah, that's unattractive. Like, you know what? Never mind. You know.
Yeah, my phone's off and on the side, and just things. I just remember chivalry was non-existent. A lot of guys were super lazy when it came to courting or meeting women. And apparently, guys send a lot of dick pics now. What the hell's up with that?
Yeah, man. I have a lot of lady friends that, like, they have a Tinder or something, or even in general, like their Instagram. Yeah. And it's like, dude, do you really expect that to work? Just send a dick pic and I'm lost for words, man. And it's like, you can't even, okay, cool. We're in this age of now, okay. And then this is why I found out too, that girls, like, people don't say, oh, here's my number. Here they say, oh, here's my Snapchat or here's my Instagram. Yes. Like, that's how you contact people now. But it's just like, man, like, I don't know, dude. It's just that connection. If you know you're going to meet online, why don't you just like try to actually get to know the girl? Like, say, okay, cool. Hey, I see you like movies or whatever. Like, start a conversation like that instead of just, hey, you want to fuck or you want to go get a drink or get high or something. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I remember doing the experience because I was like dating for a while, and I remember, to your point, I would read their profiles and I would actually say, "Hey, I hear you like skiing. What's your favorite place to ski?" And I would never get a response. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then one time I said, "Fuck it, damn girl, you do got a nice ass." "Oh, thank you very much. I got a response." I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
I'm
crazy,
trying to be a gentleman here, and I mentioned your ass, and then I get a response. I mention your eyes and everything else. I get nothing.
Yeah, so you try to be gentleman and like, no, nothing, and it's like they're going for that type of asshole or something. And it's like, or
I don't know.
Yeah, man, I have no idea. Crazy.
Yeah,
I miss that time of like, even a little bit in high school, just like going up to a girl, even though you may get rejected, but at least you're not left with that feeling of like, oh, what if, like So, that's definitely gone, man, and it's weird. Like I said, I was with this girl for almost 7 years. So now
that's a long time, John. By the way, that is a very long time. So that's just nothing to dismiss, dude.
Yeah. It was a while, and it happened right after high school. So like sometimes I keep thinking about, man, I was in my prime, you know, I could have been doing this and that, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, I just came out of it and like, fuck, like, is this what I have to do now to try to get a girl to respond or something? But yeah, man, it's a whole different landscape, dating, definitely.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it really is, man. And like I said, totally different. Like this one time I went on a date and I picked up the girl, like, hey, let me pick you up. She was, I'm not giving you the address of my house. I don't know if you're a psycho. I'm like, what? Like, seriously? Okay. And one time I picked her up and opened the door for her. She's, oh my God, is it prom night? No one opens doors anymore. I'm like, really? It just little things like that just kind of blew me away, that the atmosphere was just totally not what I was used to. But I'm just glad it's over. I have a girlfriend now, and things are working out great. But it's just the whole landscape is, dude, the stories I can tell, dude. It's just insane.
No, yeah, definitely, man. And I've even got some messages too on like dating apps and stuff. Like, hey, like the girls would just want to, you know, either sell their pictures or just want to
Sell?
like, yeah, sell their pictures or videos, or even like a one night stand. It's like, no, another type of guy would want that not one night stand, but it's like me, like fuck, like how many other guys have you messaged with or been with? Like that's I don't want to catch anything, you know.
Yeah, I'm good, right?
Yeah, like I'm good, I'm good. But to your point too, you were just messaging. I mean, you're just saying something, and I had a thought, and it just went away.
About chivalry or
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. When I've gone on dates too, like. I've got raised on the fact that, hey, you know, you're a guy, you're the gentleman, you got to take care of the woman. So like, oh, cool, I got this. And some girls are like, no, like let me pay for it, you know, or let me pay half or something. And like that's fine. And I think it has to do with a lot of, you know, nowadays, you know, women want to be treated equally. Like, oh, hey, you know, I can take care of myself, and that's fine and everything. But there's a few girls that got turned off by that. It's like, well, like that's how I got raised, you know, like. Paying for everything.
They got turned off. Wait, hold on. They got turned off that you offered to pay.
Yeah, like
they got turned off
that. That was something negative for them. It's like I understand like what you're trying to say, that you can take care of yourself and stuff, like you don't need a man. But it's like I'm the one trying to take you on a date. I'm trying to say, hey, you know what? If we do wind up together, I can take care of you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah,
that was really weird to me.
Yeah, you know, now that you mentioned that, you brought up a memory. I remember this one girl who insisted on paying for everything, and I'm like, no, let's at least go. You got this one round, you get the next one. We'll just kind of go that route. And she didn't want me to pay for anything, because she said that subconsciously, I'm trying to remember the words so I don't get in trouble. She said subconsciously, I don't want to feel obligated to owe you anything, so therefore I'm going to pay for everything that I'm going to get. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, then go ahead and I'll take a shot of whiskey, you know, whatever. I mean, I remember her telling me that, and it just kind of sobered me up right away. I'm like, wow, okay, then you go ahead and pay for the night. Isn't that weird? That's so weird.
That's weird, man. And it's like, it's not us coming from like, oh, you know, you can't pay for it. You're a woman, you know. It's like us just trying to be gentlemen and like how we were raised, you know.
Yeah, exactly, man. So it's weird, and I don't know if you mentioned like the Henry Cavill backlash of him being honest and saying, hey, he's kind of scared to date and all. I can totally relate to that. I mean, he's got way more to lose than me or you, because he's got, you know, millions in a career in film and all that. He's Superman. But I can understand, especially with Chris Hardwick and things like that. I keep all my texts, dude, and I always prefer phone conversations versus texts. But even with texts, I've saved everything, and I've got screenshots. It's weird that I started doing that a year ago, because I didn't want anything to come back and just haunt me. Not that I was saying anything inappropriate, but it's just weird that sometimes you have to do that to protect yourself.
Yeah, man. We live in that age, man. It could, like, if you're dating someone and it doesn't go well because of something you couldn't control, maybe she could come back and say something that you did or did, you know? So it's weird, man. It's that day and age that we live in, you know?
It's totally crazy, man. It totally is. I don't, like I said, I don't know what caused it or why it's like that, but you know, everyone just, I mean, as long as you're a good person and you know, you treat everybody with respect, I think that's all that matters. In the end, you'll be fine.
Exactly. And you mentioned a little bit about whiskey, and that caught my attention. Like, what's your favorite go-to drink, man? Because lately, for me, it's just been whiskey, man. The Jack Daniel's honey, I can go through a bottle like nothing, or mix it with Coke or whatever. Like, what is your drink?
Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
1 second. Well, it's kind of empty right now, but how's
Jesus. There you go. Yeah, I got a little bit too.
Yeah, this thing was filled, but yeah, that's
man.
my beverage of choice, man. Hey, if you
Yeah.
need a sponsor, Jack Daniels, right? I'm just kidding.
Good old Jack and Coke, man. I love it.
Jack and Coke, yeah, or a Jack and Seven. Sometimes the honey one's really good. After like a hard day at work, sometimes I just get a block of ice and pour like a shot of honey and just sip on it. Those are really good. But
I
yeah,
haven't tried the Jack Daniel's Fire. I think it's like a cinnamon taste, right? A little.
yeah, I don't like anything cinnamon. I think I had a bad drunk experience one time where I threw up and it tasted like cinnamon.
Ooh.
So,
Eesh.
I think it was like Goldschlager or something like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I was
a long time ago.
Growing up, I was a big Bacardi guy. The silver Bacardi silver rum.
Nice, man. Very cool.
Bacardi and Dr. Pepper. That was my drink.
Dr.
Now,
Pepper,
I don't know
man.
why it's just been whiskey and that would be cool, man. To have a whiskey with you, a shot of whiskey or something.
One
Next
day
time.
soon, my friend. Yeah, one day soon. Next year we'll do it, man.
You know what? It would be really cool for every movie that I haven't seen. I'll take a shot, and I would just be hammered by the first minute.
No, we'd have to get you to the hospital if you did that.
I know, man. You know what? My liver collapsed and stopped working.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want that, man. We don't want that.
No,
It's
definitely,
funny.
man. But yeah, Rudy, again, man, this is a lot of fun, bro. We definitely got to do it again because, again, like I said, we barely scratched the surface. This is what I love about these conversations. Like, we could just go off on anything. It doesn't really have to be movie related, and it could be fun, you know?
Yeah, man. And again, this is a great idea, and thank you for doing this. And I look forward to your other videos because, like I said, we've known everybody within our space for a while, but do we really know them on a personal level? And really the answer is no. And I really applaud you for coming up with this idea, and I'm sure it's going to be successful, dude. So again, thank you for having me, and I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, man. Again, thank you for the time, and we definitely got to do this again. And tell the people where they can find you, man, online and stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, folks can find me at Rudy's Movie Reviews on YouTube. So you can also find me on Instagram under the same name, and also on Twitter. If you're following John, you'll see me with his best friends list down below, and you'll see my big face right there in the icon. So follow me there. My reviews. How would I say this, John? My reviews, I don't really punch out reviews for what's current out there. I like going into the retro space and talking about how the film affected me on a personal level, how the world was at the time, and emphasize some points that people may not know. So it's really just a retro channel in a sense, and collaborations with friends. I have a Super Friends segment, which is pretty cool. I like having discussions just like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, check it out. Give me a shot. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe.
No, yeah, definitely, guys. Like I said earlier, too, Rudy's one of the best doing it out there. He does a lot, like he said, a lot of retro reviews. He's been doing some trailer reactions, and he's very insightful. Like, that's why I really like his channel, and Rudy, talking to you, too. I really love your channel because a lot of times we all do the same thing. We all try to review and stuff like that in our style, but sometimes we end up saying it the same things, you know, and I think that's why I've shied away a little bit from doing it, because I was like, you know what? I'm not really 100% happy with what I'm putting out. So I want to come back and do something that I'm comfortable with and passionate about. So my reviews will come back, but Rudy, like, hats off to you, because you do have some insightful, great reviews. It's not just like your normal pros and negatives and, you know, stuff like that. So you like, I love that too, your experience with the film. And I think that's what I've tried to do a little bit more in my reviews. So yeah, guys, check out Rudy. He's awesome. He's amazing. And I'm pretty sure you guys will see him more on my channel as well.
Awesome. Again, thanks, John. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, guys. So we're going to go to the outro video as normal. And again, all his links are going to be in the description below. And yeah, we'll see you there.
Live long and prosper.
All right, everyone. So that was it. That was this week's episode of Real Talk. Make sure to come back next week for another episode. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed interviewing Rudy. Rudy's an awesome guy, as you guys can probably tell from this interview. You guys did not know or follow him before. All his social media links and the link to his channel is going to be in the description down below. So make sure to go subscribe and follow him. Tell him John from The Real Talk sent you. And yeah, guys, like I said, stay tuned for more episodes. And if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, you guys can at The Real Talk, talk with 2Ks on Twitter and Instagram, and also just at The Real Talk on Stardust. So until next time, guys, we'll see you at the movies. Later.